Hey class, this is Eddie Hale, and today we're going to make a web page in which the links jump down the page to a different section of the page. It's going to look like this one right here. If you look at this, it's a real long page with a panda bear and a black bear and a polar bear. And on the links up here, if you click on the black bear link, it jumps down the page to the black bear section. After you read through that, you can click on this top link and it jumps up to the top of the same page. I'll go check out what we have to say about polar bears. Click that link and it jumps down the page. You can tell by the scroll bar here that I'm 3/4 of the way down a longer page. I read about polar bears, and when I'm done I can go back to the top. So let us make that page together now. I'll make these files available in Blackboard. You'll download a zip that will be called link within a page start. Double click it and it's going to open up this root folder. And as I usually do, I'll ask you to drag that root folder on top of your brackets or whatever code editor you're using. And you'll see here, I've got my images in there and I've got an index page. The index, if we check it out, it's got some stuff going on. It's got a header and some stuff. And then here's that picture of the conservation wardens on the top. And you scroll down a ways, and then there is a section of the page about panda bears. I can tell because there's a panda photo here, and I added these sections for that panda section, and each one of these parts about a different bear has section tags around it. So here's a part about black bears, down here's a part about polar bears. You get the picture. I've got these links up here and they have the word placeholder in them. Do you remember the anatomy of a link? href, and then it tells it where to go right here, and I just wrote the word placeholder in there because I wanted to put something in there. Here's the trick for going down the page. You can link to an ID. What is an ID? Well, it looks like this. This is a section about panda bears, so I'm going to click in this section right here, and I'm going to add ID equals quotation marks panda dash bears. Remember how that's spelled, panda dash bears. We never use an ID in my class yet. IDs are old school. Nobody uses them except for special occasions like this. So don't be using them to style anything. Classes are still king. Use classes to style things. But for this special thing, we're going to add IDs in. ID equals black bears. I used the hyphen in that last one, so I'll use a hyphen in this one also. Here's another section about polar bears. ID equals polar dash bears. And then the last one is brown bears. So here's the section about brown bears. ID equals. All right, that was fun. There will be no change. I could show you what it looks like on the web page. I can click this little lightning bolt here and it will open up in Chrome, and there's no change, and these links still don't work. In fact, if I click these links, they go to nowhere. I'm going to hit the back button. Let's make it work now. So up here, the trick is in this placeholder, I type in hashtag or # and then the name of that ID. The first one, panda bears, is the first one. I don't know why they got the first spot. Panda dash bears. And we could test that if you want to. Shall we test it? Save. I'm going to go back to Chrome and try that out. Click on panda bears and it jumps down to panda bears. Pretty fun, don't you think? Go back to brackets and I'm going to do another one. The next one down the list is, should have memorized this, black bears, polar bears, and then brown bears. We can remember that. So I'm going to highlight this placeholder text and type in black dash bears. The next one is going to go to polar bears dash bears. And then the last one is brown bears. Wait, did you see my mistake? I'm rushing. I forgot the hashtag. It's got to have the hashtag in it. The hashtag tells the browser to look for an ID on this same page. There you go. Save that. We'll go back to Chrome here. Go to the panda bear section. It doesn't work. Go to the black bear section. It doesn't work. I had this happen in practice too. I don't know why Chrome doesn't like me, but if I double click on this index and open it in Safari, then it works. Check it out. Panda goes to panda, scroll back to the top. Black goes to black, scroll back to the top. Polar goes to polar, scroll back to the top. and brown goes to brown. Scroll back to the top. Now what I think I want to do, what I know I want to do is when someone goes down to the polar bear section and they're done, I want to put that link to the top here. So I went and searched for arrows up, like this arrow right here. And I went to this website and I found this Unicode here for an arrow. You can search it out too, but that little chunk of text makes a bold up pointing arrow. So I'm going to copy that thing. Copy. And I'm going to go find this section for the panda bears is the first one, right? And I'm going to put a paragraph down here that says go back to top. And then I'm going to Command V, I'm going to paste that arrow in there. And then I need some place for that to go to. And so just like I added these IDs of panda bears down here, I'm going to add an ID up here. Where should I add it? I'm going to add it in my header. So my header has a class of page header. I'm also going to add an ID of, I'll call it top. A tag can have a class and an ID in it at the same time. That's totally kosher. And you know how to code a link tag. We've done that before in this class. So right here where it says go back to top, I'm going to click my cursor there and I'm going to do A space href equals and then quotation marks. I'm going to close that A tag right away. I'll cut this ending A tag out and paste it after this spot right here. So remember how links work. Everything between the A tags is going to turn blue or whatever color you've set in your styles for it to turn, and it'll become a link to somewhere. And the somewhere is # top. The word top is not magical. It's just because I named that ID top up here. And so it's going to jump up to this part of the page, which is the top of my header. So that should be fine. I'm going to save this. I'm going to go back to Safari and refresh. And if we go up here to the polar bear section, nope, it was panda bears, I guess. There you can see my link with the up pointing arrow. And if I click on that, boom, it goes to the top. And that top ID is way up in the top of the header, so it scooches to the top of the page. So let's put that link to the top all over the place in our HTML. So it's down here at the bottom of this pandas. I'm going to copy it, the paragraph and the link, copy that, and I'm going to put it at the end of the black bears section. Hit a return, paste. I'll indent it for clarity. Go to the bottom of the polar bears section, add a return for it, paste it in there. I use my keystrokes to paste it in there. I hope that's okay. And I'm going to actually have a spot left for it right there. Paste it in there. And each one of these spots will have a link to the top now. Save it. Go to Safari and refresh it. And now everywhere I go black bear, after I read through the black bear section, if I'm done, I can go back to the top, go to brown bears, go to the end of that section, I can click back to the top. So there you go. That's how to make links within a page. All right, just to be clear, that will also work in Chrome. If I go and right click on this and say open with Google Chrome, there was something about the interface between brackets and Chrome that made it not work, but you'll see here when I click on Panda, it goes to Panda. Back to the top works, Polar works, back to the top works. Brown, just as you'd expect, they work. So it works in Chrome and in Safari. It just worked a little bit better during my demo in Safari. I'm going to review. The trick is you have to make a place for it to go. You have to make a target, and that is an ID. And you can stick that ID in any tag you want. I happen to have a section here. I could stick it in this image if I wanted to, or this H1, but I made the section tags because they made sense. So if you make an ID, then you can make a link to that ID just by naming it right here with a # in front of it. So that ID down there is panda bears, and it's got the # in front of it. Same thing here. I've got an ID up here that's top. It's just top, no # there. But then down here, when you make a link to the top, that link, the href, has that # top in it, and then it works. So go out there, if you have a long page, and make links down the page and links back to the top. Thanks for watching. Bye.